So in the past few months, George Russell has went from being someone who is one of the most loved people on the grid to probably being one of the most hated at the moment, especially these last few weeks. They have been insane when it comes to the switch up on George Russell. And I understand why the switch up has come. I mean, George Russell on track versus George Russell, in the media and on social media, very different, very cool guy on there, but on track, he's a beast, He's young, he's hungry, which is expected. He wants to win. He wants to be a world champion, and we expect him to be one day. But I think it's gone a bit too far, and I'm not only going to blame George for this, but also Mercedes. Just the debrief last week on Mercedes. They said if we didn't give George that opportunity, he would be furious. It's like, are you putting people's feelings before a possibility for the team? Because if you don't know what I'm talking about Lewis was faster on track once they went to mediums, and he was probably going to be able to catch Lando and Carlos before that whole DRS magician stuff that Carlos did, and we probably would have won the race. But Mercedes said they decided to give that opportunity to George, and we know how that ended. He hit the wall. And from this explanation, it seems to me that Mercedes is actually babying George, and I think they do that because he is the future of Mercedes. We cannot deny that. But while doing that, I feel like that has somewhat blown up his ego a bit more. You can hear it on his radios. And now it's also gotten to the point where George's goal is to beat Lewis Hamilton. His goal, this present moment, is to beat LH. And the crazy thing is that as much as George wants to do this and he's pushing and he wants to be number one in the team and all that, and Mercedes is kind of giving that vibe, George hasn't faced Lewis Hamilton in a champion-winning car. And we know he is on a different level when he's on a champion-winning car. What we're seeing now is basic. It's not what we used to. It's not what we've seen for the past years. And that also goes back to Nico Rosberg. His intention was to beat Lewis Hamilton, and it literally broke him. He had to spend time away from his family. He had to lock himself in just in order to get that in 2016. And we know in 2016, all of that kind of happened. Like, Nico was great in 2016, but let's not forget the mechanical issues that Lewis had in his car. You get what I mean? The DNFs. Let's not forget that part. At the end of the day, it's facts. George now has an ego. It's clear to see. I mean, 1,000 and thousands of people who loved you in the beginning of the year can't just turn around and not like you as much anymore. And it's not that we don't like him as a person. It's just that his actions on track are kind of questionable. But at the same time, as I said, I 100% blame Mercedes. Like, they are babying him. And I don't understand why. I really don't get why. Like, he is so down low the standings in the top 10. And even Lando has passed him now. But Mercedes don't seem to see that. Yeah. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe and like. That helps me out a lot.